The Yankees missed on Yamamoto. So what happens now?
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon to get started. With me, as always, is my producer, Steve Granado. Steve.
Hey, what's up, Stacey? It's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, for a good reason for both of us.
It's been a while for a good reason. Hey guys, thanks for clicking on the show here today. Both Stacey and myself are still getting over some sickness, so bear with us here today. But we wanted to talk some Yankee stuff with you. Of course, the Yankees did make a trade on Tuesday morning, sending Estevan Florial to the Cleveland Guardians. What did they get back? Is this good? Is this bad? What went into it? We'll talk about that later on in the show. Of course, Stacey, we missed some big news with us both being sick. Again, still are sick. But we missed some big stuff. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is a Dodger, which is obviously huge. I don't need to go into why that is huge. The massive fallout of that, both, of course, in LA, in Major League Baseball, and of course in New York. And that's the that's the stuff we want to talk about today, is the New York fallout of it all. The contract that he got, Stace, ended up being 12 years, $325 million, which was backloaded. This was higher than projected. This also included a $50 million signing bonus and two opt-outs with Los Angeles, a 2029 opt-out and a 2031 opt-out, both player opt-outs. The Yankees offer, according to The Athletic here, Stace, was 10 years, $300 million, of course, so 2 years shorter and $25 million less. It did not include a signing bonus. It did have one opt-out in 2028. It was not backloaded like the Dodgers was, so it had an average annual higher, ever so slightly, in terms of Major League Baseball dollars, ever so slightly than the Dodgers offer. So the Yankees were right there with them, right? They were right there with them, as you know, and as we've discussed on the show. When you are doing these contract negotiations, you don't know what the other teams are offering. So the Yankees were right there with them. Stace, your reaction to the Dodgers signing Yamamoto and the Yankees missing out here?
Well, I wasn't surprised. I don't know. I figured he'd want to be with Ohtani. Like, it just felt that way. I don't know. It just seemed like it was heading in that direction. I missed everything because I was sick and sleeping, and I woke up in the middle of the night after it happened and was looking back through Twitter and saw everything. And I thought, oh, because it literally happened about 20 minutes after I went to sleep that night.
That happens. Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, well, like, I was too sick to care, really, you know. I wasn't even fired up about it. I kind of was preparing for it, so I wasn't that upset about it. The stuff that got me upset about it was when all the different news was coming out about the differences between the Yankees offer and the Dodgers offer, some of the excuses that were coming out. Well, the Yankees haven't really said anything. It's what people have said, that the Yankees, certain things about the Yankees, until Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner actually come out and say something, I'm not going to believe everything that they're putting out there, but a lot of people are. That's what was making me upset. But I really felt in my bones he wanted to be with Ohtani and go to the Dodgers. So I wasn't really shocked that it happened. It sucks because this was the Yankees' plan A. And oh well, back to the drawing board for the Yankees.
Yeah, it kind of feels back to the drawing board here, huh? Like like we had talked about it a couple of weeks ago, pretty much right after the Soto trade, like almost instantaneously after the Soto trade. We're going, yo, this is Yamamoto or bust here. Like it is very clear that Soto was step one and Yamamoto was step two. So the Yankees, I don't want to say they're in scramble mode, but they're definitely like trying to pick up the pieces here, because they went all in on Yoshinobu Yamamoto and everything that we could see here. It very clearly was part of the game plan this offseason. It was very clearly part of what was going to be the conventional track towards a World Series. The best starting pitcher free agent is off the market, and the Yankees don't have him.
Right.
When they were supposed to, right? They were supposed to be the big bad Yankees. And there's a new big dog in town, right? Like there's The Dodgers are serious as serious can possibly be. They are not the little brother. They are not Class B. They are the prime example of a team that is all in on winning baseball.
They're what the
And
Yankees should be.
yes, and let's not mince words. The Yankees got outplayed here. They just
Yeah.
did. They just got
Yeah.
outplayed.
Yeah.
They made their best pitch. I think in my heart of hearts, it looks to me from the outside looking in, they went all in. They did.
It's not a
I,
bad offer. Everyone's
it
making
wasn't a
it
bad
seem
offer.
like the Yankees only offered him 5 years, $250 million, like compared to what the Dodgers did. 10 and 300 for someone who hasn't pitched in the majors is a lot of money. And it's, if the Dodgers didn't exist, the Yankees probably would have won, because no matter how much the Mets were offering anyone, who would want to go to the Mets? No offense. I just saw a lot of negativity toward the Yankees offer not being serious, but
I
10.
think it's pretty darn serious.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
$30 million a year.
That's a lot of money for someone, again, who's never pitched in Major League Baseball, and you don't know how he's gonna do in Major League Baseball. I mean, that's a risk, and the Dodgers are taking a risk, and the Yankees were trying to take a risk, and he just picked the Dodgers. I mean,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
I think that kind of is what it boils down to here. Like, yes, you can be upset, and I think it's warranted if you wanted Yamamoto to be a Yankee. Yeah, of course you'd be upset. Why wouldn't you be? But I think what it boils down to is he wanted to pitch for the Dodgers. Like,
Mhm.
and
Oh, well.
we've talked about that before, right, Stacey? Like, we've talked about that when it comes to free agency. Is like sometimes people just want to go play somewhere.
Yeah.
They just do. Like,
Yeah.
they just want to play there. And maybe Yamamoto did like New York, but he liked LA better.
Yes.
And there's only so much money in the world. There's only so much you can do to curtail that, change that, and flip the odds in your favor. Yes, a lot of people are like, well, money talks, money talks. It's like, well, not all the time, dude. Like, yes, obviously it has a big play in all of this, but at the end of the day here, I really think Yoshinobu Yamamoto just wanted to be a Dodger.
He did.
And yes, you could dissect that in 100 ways and what that means and why he wouldn't want to be a Yankee over a Dodger. Sure, you can go in that direction, but it doesn't change the outcome here. It doesn't change it in the short term. It's something you could look at in the long term, of course. And I think in the long term here, what you're seeing is obviously the Yankees don't have the standing that they once did in Major League Baseball. And
Mhm.
I think that's something that we'd all had kind of seen coming here over the last couple of years, right? Like, this isn't something that is brand new. Like, well, why wouldn't you want to come to the Yankees all of a sudden? Like, this is something that's been brewing for a few years in baseball now.
Yeah. I feel like if the Yankees had a bit of a better season where they made the playoffs, maybe made it into the ALCS and lost it again or something like that, maybe it'd be a little more alluring, because then maybe you would feel like, oh, maybe I can put them over the top and get them into the World Series. But coming off a year that they had, I mean, I can understand why someone wouldn't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, Stace. Like, do you see maybe a way in which that can be fixed? Again, I think this is more of like a long-term problem, right?
Right.
This isn't something in my head that gets fixed right away, where all of a sudden, okay, now the Yankees are the destination of choice next season, next offseason, they sign X, Y, and B, and they're back on top. I think this is something that kind of took a while to brew
Hmm.
to get to this stage. And I
Yeah.
think in the same vein, it's going to take a while to brew to get out of that stage.
Right. I would agree with that. I just don't like that this situation now makes it more likely that Soto's going to go somewhere else after this season.
Well, I
Uh,
don't want to. I don't want to go so far here, Stace, and correct me if you're feeling a different way. But I don't want to go so far to say that, like, all of a sudden now the Yankees are a bad place to play baseball.
oh,
I don't
no.
think that's the case at all.
No,
I still
not at
think
all.
that there still is that grand allure. There's not
Of
like
course.
all of a sudden. It's not like like, remember there was maybe you don't remember exactly, but being a Californian, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, like there was this max exodus, right? It's like everyone's moving to Texas. Everyone's moving to Texas. Like, this whole thing is like Texas. It's like, we're still California. Like,
Yeah.
we still got the beach. We still got the freeways. We still got the mountains. We still got a lot of stuff here. And I think the Yankees are kind of in the same boat. It's like, we are still the Yankees, dude. Like, it still is us. Just because other teams have leapfrogged high doesn't mean we have all of a sudden fallen to the very bottom.
Right. They're not the Royals. No offense. Although the Royals are signing some people, but you know what I mean. They're not like at that level. They're Yeah.
Yeah. There's still a premier. It's still New York, dude. It's
Yes.
still New York. So, of course, that's the nuts and bolts of this, but we have plenty more. Baseball has to be played come April, regardless. Whether Yamamoto is in pinstripes or not, that doesn't matter. Someone's got to pitch. And the Yankees need to find people to pitch. That's next. What are they going to do? What can they do? What are the rumors? That's coming up here in just a second. Stick around.
Score this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's an easy $150 if your team wins. If you've considered joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is a breeze to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and you can also combine prop bets on a game into a single game parlay for even more fun and chances to win big. And believe me, I've seen some people posting their winnings online, and they win big. By the way, the Yankees 2024 World Series odds are plus 850. They're favored to win the AL, even without Yamamoto. So that's good. Their odds are at plus 450. So visit fanduel.com/lockedon and score big this NFL season. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Back now here on Locked On Yankees. Hey, don't forget, coming up on Friday, we're still doing our Fan Mail Friday. So for everydayers, we missed our last Fan Mail Friday. Feel free to drop more questions here on the YouTube side, but we're going to be pulling from those old questions that we had started to make. And then both Stacey and I were like, dude, this is not going to happen. We're both dying. So we feel at least up enough for it to get you guys that Fan Mail Friday here in a couple of days. So we will still be answering your questions. And of course, don't forget to check out the 24/7 Locked On Sports Today streaming YouTube channel. 24/7 Sports, top stories every single day. Need background sound? Flip it on. Search for it here on the YouTube side. All right, Stacey, we're talking a lot about Yoshinobu Yamamoto here today, and coming to grips with the reality that he is not going to be a Yankee, because he's not. He is signing with the Dodgers. So the Yankees now need to formulate a plan. I jumped in on this maybe about 2 weeks ago, that I thought if they didn't get Yamamoto, they didn't have a plan beyond that. Hindsight now, where do you think I was right, or do you think we're seeing some reports that they have some sort of plan here?
Yeah.
Some of them a little more unconventional. But now looking back on my words, Stacey, where do you fall in with me saying they didn't have a plan?
I think they did, but I think they were really banking on getting Yamamoto. Because you always have to have a plan B. You can't not have a plan B, no matter what you're doing, But I feel like they were really hoping for the plan A to work out, and it didn't. So now they're like, all right, we're going to have to do something here.
Let's be fair. There's no plan B that's as good as plan A.
No, not even close.
No. For every team that was in the running here, for the Giants, for the Mets, for every team that was even considering Yamamoto, who met with him, who wanted to get with him.
Yeah.
There was no better plan.
No.
There was no plan B here.
No.
So
right.
Yeah. Snell. No.
Like, it's really like plan A and plan E.
Yeah. It's you're skipping steps here. Like, you're degrading as you go further. So it's just, you just kind of have to.
No offense to the guys who are still left, but they know.
No, I mean, what Yamamoto presented was youth and extreme talent, which isn't anywhere else.
Extreme talent, a whole bunch of years to have him, because 25, that's just, I mean, you're getting him right before his prime, and then you're going to have him in his prime, and then as he's going over the hill, but it's not even going to be that bad. So yeah, I mean, kudos to the Dodgers again for that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of weird things coming out and a lot of different suggestions, and I know that the Yankees have been linked with Jordan Montgomery basically since the end of the World Series. Like I said, I really think CC needs to work his magic there, and they're still on the lefty. They still have the lefty text message group, so I'm hoping that CC can work his magic and be like, just come back.
Yeah,
come back.
I don't know. So that's from Ken Rosenthal most recently, saying that the Yankees are still interested in Jordan Montgomery, which we have talked to death already here on this show. We both have agreed that it would be a good thing for the Yankees, and feel like it's kind of a stretch for Jordan Montgomery at this point.
Right.
That's where I'm still landing. Nothing has changed on that front. Every day is know where we both land on that.
Mhm.
There was also some reported interest from John Heyman on Shoto Imanga.
Mm.
Shoto Imanga is a left-handed pitcher coming also out of Japan. He is, let's not mix words here. He is not the same as Yamamoto. That is not the same thing. Imanga is a different type of pitcher. He is older. He has some tweaks that he needs to make when he comes to Major League Baseball. There's going to be a bit of growing pains there. I mean, we figure there's going to be some on Yamamoto's side too, but it's not the same. The talent level is not the same. The youth is not the same. The longevity, the projectability, all that stuff is not the same. He's good. Shoto Imanga is still good. He's a lefty. He's not going to throw as hard. He doesn't have the same type of stuff. He has a different repertoire. The Yankees could still go after him. It feels like a consolation prize if they get a guy like that. Again, he is older. He's 30 as opposed to 25. They have until January 9th.
Right.
That's when that window closes. So, sorry, working through coughs here. But we're still waiting. But Stacey, I'm more interested in this side of things. There was a report saying that the Yankees are interested in building a quote super bullpen. Given that there is not much out there in ways of just turning your starting rotation around here, and now with the lack of depth the Yankees have on the rotation side, do you think shifting gears and going in this direction is a smart move?
Well, it's almost like they don't have a choice, right? Like I feel like this has to be the pivot because there aren't that many options out there. Let's not pretend that the Yankees, they have a rotation. It's just not, it's questionable right now because you have two guys that you're kind of wondering, okay, what's going to happen after last season? Because you have Rodon, you don't know what you're going to get from him, but he cannot be as bad as he was in 2023. There has to be better pitching coming from him, and I feel like it's going to happen in 2024. The other question marks, Nestor Cortez. So it's not like the bullpen. It's not like the rotation is just Garrett Cole, which is the way most people are making it sound. I know it feels that way right now. I know. But there is a chance that you can get bounce back years from both Nestor and Rodon, but I don't like that they're
That's not exactly where you want to
that.
bet.
Right. That's yes, thank you. Going for the super bullpen could work in case, because you have Cole usually lasts pretty long when he starts. And then, maybe Nestor only goes like 5 innings and you can work the bullpen, like that sort of thing. But oh God, they got rid of so much pitching. Much pitching. And, you would think after what happened in 22 that they'd be a little smarter about it. And then they weren't. But they got Juan Soto. So I understand why they did what they did. But now that they don't have Yamamoto, they have to go through all these weird scenarios like, oh, maybe we'll do a super bullpen or maybe we'll do this. I saw Dylan Cease's name floating around, like maybe they can trade, but who the hell are they going to trade for him? Because who do they have left that they can match up with the White Sox? Like there's just too much stuff for them to have to do. And again, the plan A going bye to LA really made it so the Yankees have like a plan E or F that they have to work on. And it's scary to think about.
Yeah, some ideas here in this super bullpen. The Yankees potentially linked to Josh Hader, which obviously would be the back end of it. Robert Stevenson, which I'm not as keen on as everyone else is. And Jordan Hicks, which obviously he hasn't been incredible, but he's been good, especially, in 2023. But look, I think there are other avenues they can take before shifting straight to the super bullpen here. You mentioned the trade thing. Corbin Burns is still out there, dude.
Oh, yes.
You could still totally go after Corbin Burns. You mentioned Dylan Cease. I've loved Dylan Cease since he was a prospect. I've been in on Dylan Cease. He's been one of my favorite pitchers for the last 10 years. So there are other avenues. I think that they can go a little more conventional here. If there is any team to go super bullpen, it might be the Yankees.
Yeah.
It might be them. They've been incredible at turning out a great bullpen and finding diamonds in the rough. And I think if there's any team that could do it, it's New York. So not the worst idea, but I don't think it's plan A here.
Yeah, no.
I'm dying, Stacey.
I'm
just dying.
I know.
I'm dying. This is the longest I've talked since getting sick. So
between you not being able to talk too long because you're coughing and me not being able to talk too long because I can't breathe, thanks COVID, it's a fun time of the year for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Thank the Lord for mute buttons here. You guys be listening to me hacking up lungs left and right. Anyway, let us know how you're feeling about a super bullpen. I'm sure we can kind of flesh this idea out a little bit longer when we have a little bit more time to kind of talk about this over again. See if there's any legs to this, and see if it's something that they will legitimately pursue. My biggest concern is longevity.
Hmm.
My big concern is when it gets to August and September.
And these guys'
They're
arms
still
are going to be falling
relying.
off.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was already happening. That was
Hmm.
already happening this past season, and just kind of keeping the Band-Aid on. So that's my biggest concern. And just that movement in general, not even Yankees based, just that movement in general of the super bullpen idea of relying heavily on your bullpen. But that's just me. Anyway, all right. The Yankees did make a trade here on Tuesday. We need to talk about that. Estevan Florial is gone. Is that the worst thing? We'll talk about that next. Back now on Locked On Yankees, our final segment here on this Wednesday edition. And just as a reminder for everybody, we're going today, Thursday, and Friday here to get our 3 episodes in this week. And by the way, Merry belated Christmas. We didn't even get to say Merry Christmas to everybody
I know.
because we were sick and we missed the episode. And Happy holidays and Happy New Year. Yeah. Anyway, that's all the way.
Hope your Christmases were better than ours.
Yeah, that was things got screwed up here. Anyway, Stacey, the Yankees gave Cleveland a nice little Christmas present post Christmas on December the 26th. The Yankees traded Estevan Florial to the Cleveland Guardians for right-handed reliever Cody Morris. We're going to break this trade down. Stacey, Flo wasn't going to be on the team next year.
No.
So this was writing on the wall. Once they made the trades for Verdugo, Grisham, and Soto, Flo was gone.
Yeah.
That was it. Either it was going to be a waiver or it was going to be a free agent. Or this trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to do this move prior, which is why you didn't see any move prior. They didn't have to DFA him or anything like that because they still had the 40-man space. They were still waiting for things, and very clearly they were trying to move him. Very clearly we had seen it. When do you think? 2022 on? 2021 on the writing on the wall?
Yeah. I would say 2021. It's been a while. And that's the main complaint that I was seeing on Twitter from Yankee fans. It's like, you could have done this sooner. If you weren't going to use him, you could have made his life easier and sent him somewhere where he'd have a chance to do something. So I hope he has a chance to do something with Cleveland. That'd be really great for him. And the guy they're getting back, I saw a clip. He pitched against the Yankees in the 22 division series. And I think he set them down like 6 in order, like in 2 relief innings. But, some of his numbers aren't that great. But a lot of people are thinking, all right, well, Blake's everyone thinks no matter what is going to happen whenever the Yankees get anyone that has an ERA, Matt Blake's going to fix him. So that's why they got him. Don't worry. And he worked with Matt Blake. So this is actually, I think this is a good move for the Yankees. I mean, they got something for Estevan Florial. Like, that's what you want.
It was surprising when he got sent down, when he got DFA'd after making the opening day roster, that he didn't get picked up, probably because of the time of year. There were teams that were interested, but they just didn't have the 40-man space at the time. That was the story going around after that. We had talked about Florial. Gosh, if there were a way to search us saying the word Florial on this show, I mean, that's got to be one of the names that's popped up the most in the last calendar year that we've talked about him, probably second to Oswald Peraza. But he wasn't going to be part of the team, dude. He just wasn't. And we saw that when he didn't get called up at the end in the middle of 2022 and Aaron Hicks was not playing well and Florial was. We saw that when they reluctantly put him on the 40-man, or really when he reluctantly made the 26-man roster on opening day because he had to. We saw it when they placed him on waivers. We saw it when they wouldn't call him up. We saw it when they signed French Cordero. We saw it when they wouldn't do anything, when they called up Jason Dominguez over him. Like we saw it over and over and over and over and over and over. And everybody knew. The Yankees didn't like Flo.
I think it's shocking that it took this long for them to finally do something. I think that's what it is, right? Yeah.
I am a Florial fan. I think he is a great kid. I think he's a good ball player who has some holes, but I like him. I think he's a good dude to have around the clubhouse. I think he's a good dude in general. And I wish him all the luck in the world. I had made my peace mere hours before he was called up last season to the Jason Dominguez injury, because I thought he was done. Remember, he was supposed to be a free agent at the end of the season if he didn't get called up in the final week.
Right.
So good for him. He's going to get a chance in Cleveland, which is awesome for him. What the Yankees got back, Stace, what you mentioned, Cody Morris, right-handed pitcher, 27 years of age. Just 6 relief appearances in the majors last season. 13 career appearances overall, 5 of which have been starts in the majors. Comes at you with a 4-seamer, a cutter, a curve, and a change. Mid-90s, nothing crazy to blow you away. 94, 95. Very simple, repeatable delivery. Again, a right-hander, has no windup, comes straight from the stretch. So he is a very simple, just throw the ball kind of guy. So a guy, just by the looks of it, that isn't going to have a lot of injuries because of that. Again, a very simple, repeatable delivery, which is good. Very sound mechanics, nothing crazy. I was just watching some tape on him because, all likelihood, all frankness, I never saw or heard of Cody Morris. I mean, he's a reliever who's barely pitched to the majors. But it's just adding to the potential bullpen here, right?
Right.
A guy that could also start. He started in his minor league career. He's also relieved in his minor league career. He's kind of bounced back and forth a little bit, especially more recently. So Cody Morris could fight for that 5th spot. But just Stace, your overall thoughts here on this trade.
Like I said, I mean, they got something for him because there were instances where you didn't think they would because of certain things that they did with him. So him being Florial. So, I'm happy he's going to have a chance with Cleveland because he's going to have a chance with Cleveland. And that's all we really wanted for him, was to have a chance to actually play. So, and he wasn't going to get it with the Yankees. So this will be a good move for him. And it's about time that they did something, because it was just, it felt mean. And we spoke about that, but it felt not that they were purposely doing it. And it's not like they, disliked him, but the way they were treating him made it seem like they did, just because of, like you said, signing other guys ahead of him, bringing up other guys ahead of him. Just things didn't feel right. And he just fell out of favor so quickly with the Yankees. And, this will be good for him.
Yeah. I, again, will wish all the luck in the world, man. I hope he does great. I hope he goes on to have a good major league career. Do I think Estevan Florial is the second coming of Jesus Christ? No, man. I don't want to mince the words here. Again, he's got holes in that swing. He strikes out a lot. Yes, we know that. We all know that. We've been talking about that forever. I've watched it personally. But I don't think that diminishes his ability to make an impact on the field. His power numbers are good, as we know. I've seen him hit the crap out of the ball, man. I just have. And it's beautiful. He's fast. He steals well. I think he's improved in the outfield by a considerable margin. And I think he can make a difference in the major leagues, man. I think he could be at bare minimum a replacement level Major League Baseball player. So I hope he does better than that. I hope he outperforms that. I think he could. And I think he's going to get a chance at Cleveland, man. And I think Guardians fans should be fairly excited. Temper your expectations. Again, you're not getting the second coming of Jesus Christ here, but Flo's good. Flo's a good one, man. He's a good dude, and you'll like him. You'll like him. He's quiet. He's a leader. And he's just going to go out there and play, dude. He's not going to complain. He's just going to go out there and play, and he's going to put up some numbers for you. And at the end of the day, that's all you can really ask for here out of this. So best of luck to Flo, and we'll see what the Yankees get out of Cody Morris. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest move in the world. It's just, you wish it would have turned out different.
Yes.
Eventually, but that's just how it goes. Don't forget, again, coming up on Friday, we have our Fan Mail Friday. We're doing Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we're going back to regular old stuff next week. So yes, the schedule got a little flubbed here over the last couple of weeks because of the sickness and because of the holidays. We were back 3 times this week, 3 times next week, all the way until spring training. And then that's when we roll back into 5 episodes a week. So be ready for that. Don't forget to join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. Leave your questions for Fan Mail Friday, all that stuff. And again, we'll be back here tomorrow as well. We're going to talk a little bit about the Jeter Downs stuff. We haven't got to Jeter Downs yet. Yankees making that waiver claim. So a whole bunch of stuff to go on throughout this week. And that's going to do it for today's Locked On Yankees. I'm Steve Granado.
And I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. We'll see you tomorrow.